call for concern, and the United Nations revealed that over 77,000 Cameroonians are languishing in Nigeria. They are suffering in Nigeria as refugees.
Actually, it's really a regrettable situation. When I saw the report from United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, I was very worried about it. Just imagine what these people who involuntarily left their country and went to Nigeria for safety are still unable to have that safety in Nigeria. At least I think this report from United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees will save a lot of things. So it will go a long way to help a lot of these people, because I believe that from the report, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and other international organizations that are working with regard to the refugees, on taking care of refugees, will make sure that they provide enough funds, they give enough money for those organizations to make sure that they help these refugees in Nigeria to limit the suffering they are going through. And that's why we keep equally saying that we don't.
Should UN not be looking at solving the problem in Cameroon to curb the influx of Cameroonian refugees into Nigeria rather than giving temporary help to citizens who are there? Should we not be talking about solving the problem so that they can return back home and embrace their normal life, what they used to do before the crisis?
No, actually, what you are saying is very, very pertinent. It's true that we need to solving the problem is the most pertinent issue at hand. But that notwithstanding, we don't need to neglect the effects of the war. While looking for possible ways out of this war, we equally need to be doing everything possible to make sure that the effects of the war, like these refugees, are being treated fairly. That they are not being discriminated upon like other refugees. Because we can't realize that in other countries where we have refugees, like in Cameroon here, or the one we had in the East region, who are coming from Central African Republic and other, like we have not been hearing all these kind of things against them. The Cameroon government always make sure that they work in collaboration with United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees to see that these refugees are giving better opportunities for them to live as if they were living in their own country.
Mais Amadou Tanté, est-ce qu'on peut avoir l'impression avec tout ceci que ces organisations humanitaires s'en foutent peut-être des réfugiés camerounais, parce qu'on voit comment ils se battent pour les réfugiés centrafricains qui sont au Cameroun présentement?
No, the issue is that they don't work. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees don't work alone. They work with partners. So first of all, the most important thing
so many refugee camps set up by the United Nations over there in the East region.
Ici au Cameroun,
yes,
pour les Centrafricains.
Garoua Bolai and other areas, we have those refugees camps around those areas. But in Nigeria, I don't know if the UN has set up, those refugees camps there to take care of those Cameroonian refugees.
Yeah, actually, what is there is that the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees must work, as I said, with the country where we country hosting this refugee. And the first thing is to be done is that you need to, for us to look for solution to a problem. They need to first of all know the people who are suffering, the number of people that are suffering. So that's the reason why the United Nations first of all needed to carry out a research to know exactly the number of people Cameroonians that are there in Nigeria that are suffering, that are in fact the refugees that are not having access to the basic necessity, or they are not being treated fairly. After coming out with this report now, I believe from here now that donors will be able now to give to this fund or sponsor this project for them to be able to provide help to the refugees. As we're saying, this issue of looking for solution to the problem, it remains a major, the most important thing there, because if the problem is not solved as soon as possible, other refugees, other people or other Cameroonians will need, Anglophones will need to keep running to Nigeria where they are not even safe. At least we will pray that United Nations High Commissioner or the United Nations to do everything possible to provide to respect some of their rights, like including issuing of asylum to those of them who are in Nigeria and are willing to go to other countries where they think they can be safe, because that one is equally a human right for them.
Mais pourquoi on a l'impression que le Cameroun, qui est plutôt un pays hospitalier, lorsque les Camerounais arrivent quelque part, ils sont tout le temps maltraités?
Well, that's the issue. Each and every country has its own ways of modus operandi. They have their own ways of working. It's true that Cameroon have really been welcoming refugees from other countries. But the issue is Cameroon. What I've noticed in Cameroon is that sometimes we realize that even the government, they always do things that they know that will have a lot of interest behind it. Because I've noticed that, like what I said here last time, if you look critically, you realize that when it concerns refugees coming from Central African Republic and Chad or other countries, Cameroon always makes sure that they do everything possible to protect them to the fullest, because they know that they work with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and other donors to make sure that they give enough money for the Cameroon government to work, so that they can work with them to see how they protect the right of these people. What of the case of internally displaced Cameroonians who are here in Kadwala? They are not being treated fairly. We don't have any nothing like the camp.
What you are saying, they can equally use those Cameroonians to get the money you are talking about.
Yes, they get the money. The issue is that the first thing there is that when it concerns internally displaced person, is the laws of the country or the laws of the national laws that applies to them. When it concerns refugees, it is bound by international laws. So what Cameroon is doing with regard to refugees, it concerns international laws. When it comes to these people, we have people who are not going to school because they lack the means. Internally displaced person are not going to school. They don't have the means. I've never heard of any camp that have been by the government in Cameroon to host this internally displaced person and whatsoever. So they need something like that. So there are a lot of these people who are not having where to go. They are moving around the city. They don't have where to go. At least the government should do everything possible to make sure that they reiterate the rights of this internally displaced person by providing them basic necessity, as we all know. Because the only thing I've seen the government doing here is sharing them mattresses, sharing them food and other once in a while. But we don't even know whether they are taking those mattresses to go and keep under the vehicle on the street and sleep on it, or what actually those mattresses or things are being given for them to do. And